Hello everybody, getting ready to do lesson 1.3 Pre-Algebra Math today. And for today's classwork, you got 14 points here of notebook taking, lots of notes in this lesson. 1.3 order of operations. 32 points will go on your classwork sheet. Have that out in front of you, which is what you have here. Name, date, period. And then due date here for onliners and homeschoolers. And let's start out with the bell work, teachers and students. We got our bell work today. Find the product or quotient, 5.2 divided by 1.25. And then down here, find the product or quotient, 2.3 multiplied by 8.4. Teachers, give your students about 5 minutes for this. See you in 5. Okay, welcome back everybody for our solution for number 1. First of all, we're going to use long division here. So we're going to, it's 5.2. This is our dividend here, 5.2 divided by 1.25, which is our divisor. So we're going to move our decimal places 2 points over, 1, 2. So we got to move this over 1, 2. So we got to put a 0 there. So when we do that, we have 520, 125 will be divided into 520 times 4, you get 500, subtract, you get 20, drop down a 0, 125 will go into 200 once, and then you have a, you subtract, and then you have 75, and then you drop down another 0 here. Then 125 times 6 will be 750, and then you have 0 remainder. And then you bring your decimal back here, and you have 4.16 for the solution here for this division problem. And then down here, find the product or quotient, 2.3 times 8 times 4. We'll just do it in a vertical style here. 8 times, well, we're going to start over here. 4 times 3 is 12. Remainder 1. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 and 1 will be 9, so it'll be 92. Then we move over. One place here. 8 times 3 will be 24. Remainder 2. 8 times 2 is 16. Plus 2 is 18. So you have 184 and 92. When you add these together, don't forget about your decimals. You have two decimal places here to move over your decimal. 2, 9, 4 is 13. Carry the 1. 9. 1 and 8 is 9. And then just drop down your 1. We got 2 decimals places to move over. So we'll move over to the left 2 decimal places. And we get 19.32 for our product here. And that's our work today. Let's go into our lesson, a notebook entry here, students. You have performed basic operations. You will use order of operations to evaluate expressions so you can find the height of a bosom, whatever that is, as in example 28. And so put this in your notebook, 1 point. And we'll go into page 2 here. Flower flag. There are about 2,000 plants in each of the 50 stars down here of this flower flag. There are about 64,100 plants in each of the 7 short stripes and 106,700 plants in each of the 6 long stripes. The blue region contains about 198,900 plants. You approximate short stripes, long stripes. You can approximate the number of plants. You can approximate the total number of plants by evaluating the expression 50 times 2,000 plus 7 times 64,100, 6 times 106,700 plus 198,900. To evaluate expressions involving more than one operation, mathematicians have agreed on a set of rules called order of operations. This goes in your notebook, page 3, 1.3. Make that your entry that goes into your notebook. And then In your own words, students, now define order of operation in your own words. This is 5 points, students, and this goes in your notebook. I'll be doing notebook checks, usually at the end of the week, Fridays. Okay, so our order of operations. 1, evaluate expressions inside grouping symbols. That will be our first priority. Evaluate expressions inside grouping symbols. 2, evaluate powers. That would be number 2 on the list. Number 3 on your list would be multiply and divide from left to right. Number 4, add and subtract from left to right. So we got 4 different priorities here. 2 points in your notebook, put this in your notebook. So let's go into an example here. Using order of operations to approximate the total number of plants in the flower flag described previously, use the order of operations to evaluate the expression. So here is their list here of our product for the flower flag. So 50 times 2,000, 7 times 64,100, 6 times 100, 6,700, plus 198,900. That is your expression. So 50 times 2,000, 100,000. 7 times 64, 1 would be 448,7. Then 6 times 106,7 would be 640,200. And then 198,900. So now that we've written down all of those, we add these together. We get 1,387,800. There are approximately 1,387,800 plants in the flower flag. So that is our amount of plants in our flower flag. Let's go into an example now to test our skills of order of operations. Evaluate this expression here. 72 divided by, we have a bracket here of quantity 11 minus 7 multiplied by 2, close bracket. So how will we evaluate this expression here? Students, this is yours down here. But we'll go ahead and do this, our guided practice. To evaluate that expression, 72 divided by a bracketed 11 minus 7 in parentheses multiplied by 2, close bracket. So first we would start with our inside expression, our most inside expression here to be 11 minus 7, which is 4. And then we keep this here, 4 multiplied by 2. And then our 72 stays. 72 divided by our bracketed now 4 times 2. This goes there. So what's 4 times 2? It will be 8. So we do this multiplication first because it's inside parentheses. 72 divided by 8, which would be 9. So that would be the evaluation, the value of this expression here. Grouping symbols such as parentheses and brackets and fraction bars are common grouping symbols. Grouping symbols indicate operations that should be performed first. For example, compare the expressions 3 times 2 plus 5 and 3 times the quantity 2 plus 5. To evaluate 3 times 2 plus 5, you multiply first, then add. To evaluate 3 times 2 plus 5, quantity 2 plus 5, you add first, then multiply. So it changes the priority here of your operations. So let's try one here. Using grouping symbols, evaluate the expression 8 times quantity 17 minus 2.3. So what we do is we do our parentheses first. 17 minus 2.3 would be 14.7 now. So 8 times 14.7 would be 117.6. So that would be the evaluated value of this here. Okay, let's try another one. So for B here, we have 14 plus 6 divided by 12 minus 7. So our grouping symbol will be our fraction bar. So it'll be 14 plus 6 divided by 12 minus 7. We write fraction as division. And then so we add our numerator and divide it by our total amount here in our denominator. So it'll be 20 divided by 5, which would be 4. So that would be how you would do something with a fraction. And then another one would be, let's see here, 5 times, and then we got a bracket again. We got a bracket. 36 minus the quantity 13 plus 9. So which operation will we do first? We would do our 13 plus 9 first, which is 22. And then 36 minus 22, this quantity here multiplied by 5. So we have 5 times 14, subtract within the brackets now. We're still working inside the brackets. And then 5 times 14 would be 70. So let's try one of these. We got a fraction bar here. Students, down here you have this one. We'll do this one up here in our lesson. 70 minus 9.2 over 3 plus. So to do that one, 70 minus 9.2 divided by 3 plus 5. So we just evaluate our numerator and then evaluate our denominator, and then we do our final operation. 60.8 divided by 8, which would be 7.6. So that would be how you would do that one. That is your lesson 1.3 part 1, pre-algebra math. Animated PowerPoint math video at AOL.com for questions or course materials. Thank you very much.